Plateauing in the gym is one of the worst experiences anyone can go through. You're putting so much effort in. You're wanting to get a good ROI on all that effort, but it's just not there. So in this video, I'm going to quickly break down how you can go about identifying if you're actually in a plateau, and if you are, the specific things you can do to actually push past that point. Now let's break it down from a month-to-month basis. So month 1 to 3, this is going to be the newbie gains phase. Now this is going to be ideal if you've never trained before, and this is where a lot of lifters tend to see the most gains in the shortest amount of time. This is the phase where your strength will jump through the roof. You'll see a lot of physical muscle development in a very short time span. Your body weight will also change a lot. If you're trying to lose fat or gain muscle, you will see that very vividly on the scale, again, in a very short time span. And as I mentioned, this is the phase where a lot of people tend to see a lot of results. Now, phase 4 to 6, and this is where a lot of people get caught. This is the adaptation phase. This is when your body actually adapts to the training that you're doing. Because mind you, in the newbie phase, this is you going from absolutely no training to training very intensely in a shorter amount of time. And again, your body's going to adapt to that over the month of 4 to 6. And at that point, that's when you're going to see progression slow a little bit more. Because again, your body's adapting. So with all the factors that I mentioned, both your strength, your body weight in regards to if you're wanting to lose fat or gain muscle, and then also just seeing vivid changes, that does decrease significantly between these couple of months. And as I mentioned, this is where guys panic. They see that things aren't progressing nearly as quickly as they were from month 1 to 3. And again, they think that they're doing something wrong, but it really just comes down to the fact that your body is adapting. Month 7 to 12, this is the game changer. See, after month 4 to 6, that's when guys tend to quit. They just think, oh, maybe the gym's not for me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. And they just completely give up on what they're actually trying to achieve. And they never actually make it to month 7 to 12, which is where things actually matter. See, this is where discipline actually matters. This is where consistency matters. And this is where those long-term gains get solidified. Now, of course, when you enter this phase, you have a different mindset. So you understand that getting into shape, especially 1% elite shape, it does take time. And you come to terms with that between this phase. And when you come to terms with it, you actually understand how you're supposed to be training. You understand that progression will be there, but it just won't nearly be as fast compared to month 1 to 3. Now, if you're actually one of those guys that push past month 7 to 12, this is where the big change happens. Of course, you can sit idle and think, oh, maybe from month 4 to 6, nothing will happen, then I'll just give up completely. You can do that. But if you're someone who's actually dedicated to the craft of bodybuilding, actually building yourself up, if you push past month 7 to 12, that's when you become the 1% of the 1%. Because mind you, not a lot of people actually make it to that stage. Now, 2 years plus, this is where progress is measured in quarters and not weeks. Again, when you first start off, you're thinking in weeks, you're thinking in the very short term. But after you push through those 3 separate phases that I mentioned before, once you get past that point and you get past the year mark, the 2-year mark, you understand getting into shape is a long-term game, but it is a game that is so worth playing. Again, if you want visual examples like me, I've been training for 5 and a bit years now, and I would never ever go back because I knew for a fact pushing past that 7 to 12 month time frame was the biggest change I could have ever done. Now, once I actually pushed past that point, again, I'm 5.5 years deep, but again, I don't regret it a single bit because I pushed past that phase. Now, when it comes down to this phase and how you think, you measure it in quarters, not weeks. Quarters being upwards of 4 to 3 to even 5 weeks. Because again, you're thinking of the long-term time frame. The long-term time frame is where you will actually see the craziest results. And mind you, the biggest changes you will notice is when you actually reflect back on maybe year 1, year 2, those kinds of photos, and reflect back on it from year 0, from day 1, week 1, wherever it might be. Like for me, for example, this was my day 1 photo. So this is what I kind of looked like. This was my 6-month photo. And then this was my 5.5 year photo. Very, very, very different. And mind you, I wouldn't actually be able to get to that 5.5 year photo if I didn't actually stay consistent for 5.5 years. Now, here's how you can actually tell if you're plateaued or if you're just being impatient throughout those 4 different stages that I mentioned. Number 1, are your main lifts that you're focusing on actually progressing over 8 to 12 weeks? If they are not, then you more than likely are plateaued. But if they are, then you are just not in a position where you actually have plateaued and you're just being impatient. Number 2, is your body weight actually going towards the direction that you want? At the end of the day, if you're trying to lose fat, then your body fat should be going down, hence your body weight should be going down. If it is gradually going down, then perfect, you're on the right track. If it's going up and you're wanting to gain muscle, perfect, you're on the right track. But if it's going on the opposite way compared to where you want it to go, then by all means, that could be a very clear sign that you again have plateaued. Now, here's the game changer, and you need to give yourself time to allow this to happen. reflect back on your progress photos. If you look at your progress photos from week 1 and compare it to week 0, mind you, there's not going to be any crazy changes. However, compare it from week 12, week 16, month 13, whatever it might be, like any kind of time frame that is longer than 12 weeks, and you reflect back on day 1, I will guarantee you that there's been a significant change. And that significant change will tell you if you've actually progressed over the last couple of weeks, over the last couple of months, or again, if you've quote unquote plateaued. Now, if you are one of those 3 different things that I mentioned, then more than likely you have plateaued and there is something specific that you need to change. Now, mind you, I could go on a full list on things you could change, but at the end of the day, I don't have all the time in the world. I could be talking about hours. And if you do want genuine help trying to figure out where you've gone wrong with your plateaus, then I'll put a link in my bio. This is one-to-one coaching. If you are fully serious about getting over a plateau, continuously making progress, then please hop onto that application below, hit the link, and then by all means fill out all the necessary information. I'll reach out and see if I can actually help you and point you in the right direction in regards to actually getting you towards your goals. Now, hopefully this video has shone some light on you and your situation in regards to actually making progress in the gym. I understand sometimes you're not seeing progress and you get very impatient and then you feel like you're doing everything wrong and you change what is actually working, but what's actually working is something that you just haven't given enough time. So again, hopefully this video has helped you identify if you have plateaued or if you're just being impatient. And at the end of the day, if you found this super useful, then by all means hit the subscribe button. And I really appreciate all this love and support you guys have sent me over the last couple of weeks. But with that being said, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.